welcome to 3.5 homework help. I'll be your helper, Miss Bailey. All right, so, oh, this is not what I want to open. Hold on. There it is. So the first one, this is review of last chapter. Transformations in parabolas, symmetry, and parabolas. Anyways, so you're going to graph each of the quadratic functions. So f of x equals x squared, and then x squared minus 9, and then x plus 2 squared minus 9. Okay, so you're going to graph them. How do the functions compare to each other? Well, all right. Let's just look at g of x and h of x real quick. Oh, we're going to answer it in C. So x squared, x plus 2 squared minus 9. Let's talk about transformations, okay? So x squared minus 9. Think back to was that last chapter? Yeah. Think back to last chapter. What does that do? What does that minus 9 do? G of x is shifted down 9. And then what about h of x? H of x is also shifted down 9. And remember what this 2 means with the x? If it's inside the parentheses with the x, it's either going to move it left or right. It's positive 2, so you do the opposite. So you would think positive 2 would be to the right, but it is the opposite. It is 2 shifted 2 to the left. For this one, I mean, you can kind of write the same thing, or they are all the same graph, just shifted or translated, just, all right, translated. Right, they're all going to be the same shape. There's no stretch, so they're all going to be the same shape. Let me go graph them on Desmos. Oh yeah, that's fine. We'll go to Desmos. We have x squared. We have x squared minus 9. Okay, let's zoom out. So you see it's the same shape, it's just shifted down 9. So all of your x values are the same. Your y values are just all down 9. So this is 0, 0. This is 0, 9. What's another point that's easy? When x is 1, come on, y is up. Yeah, there it is. When x is 1, y is 1. For this one, x is still 1, and y will be shifted down 9. So 1 minus 9 is negative 8. X is 1, y is... It was there. It was there for a second. Oh my goodness. This should not be this hard. There it was. Okay. The last one, x plus 2 squared minus 9. So the green one and the blue one are exactly the same, except it's shifted left to the left. There we go. Negative 2, negative 9, 0, negative 9. So it's just shifted 2 to the left. So that's true with all the points. So if you're going from the blue graph to the green graph, all that happens is that your y values stay the same this time, but your x values shift 2 to the left. All right? So going from the red, let's get rid of my blue. Going from the red to the green, my y values are shifted down 9, and my x values are to the left too. So subtract 9 from your x value, subtract 9 from your y values, subtract 2 from your x values, and that'll be your new graph. Okay. That's what those look like. Let's go back. Here we are. So that's what I mean here. They're all the same graph, just translated. Let's go back to Desmos. I don't think it'll let me. Can I move this? Probably not. I could, but if I was able to move graphs, which I can't do, I would be able to move this and it would fit on top of this one. All right, because there's no vertical stretch or vertical shrink. It's the same shape, it's just moved up or down. I wish I could move it and show you. If I were to move this graph, it would fit exactly on this one. They're the same graph, just shifted. All right, moving on. Oh, look back at the functions above and identify the x-intercepts of g of x. What are they? Well, I mean, we just graphed it. So you could probably look at your graph and you would know the x-intercepts. G of x is the x squared minus 9. X squared, oh, I need to put it back in here. X squared minus 9. There it is. Your x-intercepts are 3 and negative 3. But you could also figure that out mathematically. G of x, x squared minus 9. So x-intercepts, that means that y is equal to 0. So 0 equals x squared minus 9. All right, solve for x. So you would add 9 both sides. 9 equals x squared. And then you would take the square root of both sides. So you would get x equals 3 and negative 3. Okay. But you could also just, I mean, yeah. So there are two ways to do it. You could also look at your graph. So number 8, you're doing the same thing. Here we go. 10 through 16? 15. 10 through 15. Use the given functions to find the missing values. Check your work using a graph. All right. Oh. When it says check your work using a graph, you can use Desmos to graph them. If you want to graph them by hand, feel free, but you don't need to. Okay, so let me pause for a second and figure out which one of these was kind of a pain. Okay. I would like to do these on the whiteboard, but it's not going to work because it's recording my desktop, not, yeah. It's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do number 11, but I'm going to do it on a document so that it's easier to type on. All right, so I'm going to do number 11. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so number 11 is g of x equals x minus 5 squared plus 2. Okay, so they give you the function, and you have to substitute in either for x or for g of x. So the first one, g of 0 equals what? Okay, so to find that, purple equals, so we're going to substitute in 0 for x. Substitute. There we go. 0 in for x. Do it down here. So that's g of 0 equals, substitute it in, 0 minus 5 squared, squared plus 2. Okay, and here you have negative 5, and that's squared plus 2. Oh, plus 2. All right, negative 5 squared. It's inside parentheses, so negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. You will not get a negative answer. Plus 2 equals 27. Hopefully that's right. It is. So that would be your answer. when x is 0, y is 27. That means, it doesn't ask you that, but this means that that's your y-intercept. When x is 0, y is 27. So this graph would intersect the y-intercept, would intersect the y-axis at 27, all right? I'm going to let you do g of 5 by yourself. You would just substitute 5 in for x. Let's go to g of x equals 0. This time, we don't know what x is. We have to find it. It's our mission. Do you accept it? It doesn't matter. You have to accept it. You have no choice. So substitute 0 in for g of x. So 0 equals x minus 5 squared plus 2. All right. Now we're solving for x. So someone in my fifth period said you do PEMDAS backwards, and that is accurate. You have to work from the outside in. We're trying to get this by itself, so we need to get rid of everything else on this side. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, all right, which will give me negative 2 equals x minus 5 squared. And 2 minus negative 2 is 0, so that's gone. Now you take the square root of both sides. That would be your next step. There we go. Square root, negative 2. And move it over to where I want it. So equals there we go. X minus 5. Okay, so on this side, your radical and your 2 cancel each other out. But look over here. You have the square root of negative 2. Remember, I think we've talked about this. You cannot currently take the square root of a negative number. It doesn't work unless you're dealing with imaginary numbers, which we're not, all right? We haven't gotten there. So we cannot take the square root of a negative number. So if I were to graph this, g of x equals 0, that means y equals 0. So we are trying to find our x-intercepts. So if I were to graph this, I would have no x-intercepts. You can write none. Okay. Doesn't work. There are none. If you kept going, then you would get the square root of 2. You don't have to keep going, but if you did, you get the square root of 2 equals x minus 5. So then you would have 5 plus, no, we're done. You'd have 5 plus the square root of negative 2 and 5 minus the square root of negative 2. But you can't do it. This problem is there are none. There are no x-intercepts. Okay. So then Actually, no, I wanted to graph that real quick. Let me graph it. So I can prove to you that there are no x-intercepts and that our y-intercept is in fact 27. So it's x minus 5 times See? There are no x-intercepts. It never touches the x-axis. And our y-intercept, pay for it. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, it's because it's right here. My bad. Your y-intercept is 0 and 27, which is what we found. When g is 0, sorry, when x is 0, y is 27. Okay, but there were no x-intercepts. All right. Cool. Wrong thing. Cool. Okay, I'm also going to do number 13. Number 13. Yeah. G of x equals x minus 2 quantity squared minus 3. Okay, so if it was like g of 5, you're just going to substitute 5 in for x and solve it. I'll do one of those. I'll do g of 5 since I said it. G of 5. You're going to substitute 5 in for x. So that's going to be 5 minus 2 squared minus 3. G of 5 equals 5 minus 2 is 3. So that's going to be 3 squared minus 3. G of 5 equals 3 squared is 9 minus 3 equals 6. So your answer would be 6. When x is 5, y is 6. All right. Then what if they tell you that g of x is equal to 0? G of x is equal to 0. That means you're trying to find your x-intercepts. So you're going to substitute 0 in for g of x. So 0 equals x minus 2 y squared minus 3. Okay. Oh, my bad. So now we're solving for x again. Remember, you're doing reverse PEMDAS. You're working from the outside and from the outside in. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get rid of this negative 3. It's going to be 3 equals x minus 2. Okay. Now you're going to take the square root of both sides. Aha. Square root of 3 equals square root of x minus 2. Oh. Okay, I can't do that. No. Just erase what's inside. Not taking the square root of square root. All right. Okay. Not bad. So then x minus 2. Give myself so many headaches for this thing. There we go. Whew. Square root of 3 equals the square root of x minus 2 squared. So remember, on this side, they're just going to cancel each other out. So you're just left with, I'm going to write it over here, x minus 2 is equal to positive or negative square root of 3. So you're not quite done. So you're going to add 2 to both sides. So it'll be x, all right, x equals 2 plus, here. Oh, wait, where did we go? 2 plus the square root of 3, and it's going to be x equals 2 minus the square root of 3. So those would be your 2 answers. Ta-da. All right. Cool. I think that's all I'm going to do for you. You've got this. Yes. Wait. No. I didn't show my period 1 this. If you're watching this, or my whatever you are, period 4, the first period of the day. Number 15, I'm just going to look at it. Hold on. All right. Notice the negative sign. So, like it'll come in, well, I don't want to do the whole thing. So 0, oops. So g of x equals 0. Try and find x. So 0, excuse you, why can't I type? Thank you. 0 equals negative x plus 1 squared plus 8. Okay, so you're solving for x. So your first step would be to subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, fine. Negative 8 equals negative x plus 1 squared. Okay. Now, some of you will want to distribute this negative sign. You can't do that because everything in this parenthesis right now is being squared. You would have to multiply this out, and then you could, but that doesn't help you get closer to the answer. There is an invisible 1 here. Okay? To get rid of this negative sign, you're going to multiply, well, or divide, however you want to think about it. You're going to divide both sides by a negative. So that will leave you with 8 equals, and now this will be positive, x plus 1, oops, quantity squared. All right, and then I'll leave you there, but I wanted to help you out with that negative sign. To get rid of it, you're going to divide by negative 1. Okay, now I'm done. Yes. Yes, I am. Okay. See you tomorrow.